Okay, well, thank you all for joining us today for this webinar. My name is Nathan Ricks, and really glad to be with you. We're going to share truth about your health and the truth about your wealth, and we'll start off with your wealth in the beginning. My story, just to give a little background on myself, is I come from the real estate industry, and that's what I was doing prior to myself joining Nu Skin. Just a few days ago, I celebrated my 24th anniversary of joining this company. I actually joined Nu Skin when it was 5 years old, past a time when most people would say that there was still real opportunity left. I thought it was just getting started. Other people thought it was over, and it's turned out that I was right. And frankly, today, as we share this information with you, I think you're going to see that we're still just really getting started today. So we're going to go less than 30 minutes. We're going to run through this presentation. We call this a business briefing so that you can capture the information about the business of Nu Skin. We're going to paint a very compelling picture for you, and you'll see that it can be for you like it's been for me. I am part of Nu Skin's $20 million circle, which means they've paid me more than $20 million since I joined the company in commission checks from the company and climbing. And the company continues to grow on a rapid last year, the annual compounded rate was more than 20%. So the growth of this company is not slowing down as it gets older and larger. It's actually accelerating. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We'll cover as we go through the information in this slide presentation. I want to start off with the truth about your wealth. This is an interesting slide right here. As you look at this, this is information from our own federal government. And the numbers today are even worse than these numbers that are on your screen. And I want you to look at the left side. This is what happens to 100 people in America by the age of 65. In the yellow, 16 are dead. Didn't even make it to 65, died before then. 66 in the red area are dead broke, living on less than $30,000 a year. They didn't get the memo that Social Security is only a supplemental retirement plan. It's not your whole retirement plan, but that's all they got. And they're literally going through retirement with no dignity financially. It's just a very tough situation. 13 people out of 100 people in this country are living on incomes of between $30,000 and $60,000 a year. So they're surviving retirement. They're okay. They're getting along. They can take a vacation a year. Can't afford to fly, so they drive, but that's what they're doing. 5 people out of 100 in this country have made it. They're 60,000 all the way on up. Throughout their retirement years, 200,000, maybe 250,000. These are the couples that are walking hand in hand on the beach on the cover of the Merrill Lynch retirement plan brochure. You know, there's not that many people that actually get to that position where retirement is bliss and they can travel endlessly, or they've got multiple homes and, you know, everything's just fantastic, right? 1%, as you can see on the screen, that little gray area, that teeny little sliver, is the wealthy people. 1 person out of 100 in the United States ends up truly wealthy. And the definition of wealth in America today is $10 million of net worth, excluding all debt. So if you don't have that, you're not really wealthy. $1 million just doesn't do it anymore. And so when I saw this information for the first time many years ago, I said to myself, I know that success leaves clues. And if I want to find out how to be successful at something, I should probably ask the people who've already done it. I shouldn't ask people who've never done it. And that's what I did. I said to myself, I want to know how that 1% that became wealthy actually did it, because maybe then I could replicate that. I could do what they have done. And so as you dig into the information, you find out how they did it. And if you've never read a great book called The Millionaire Next Door, you ought to read that book. It talks about how do people actually make it in America. And when you dig in, you find this out, looking at the pie chart on the right side of the screen. This is just the 1% that ended up wealthy. 10% in the blue area, CEOs of public companies. They got stock options and bonuses that other people never get, and they became worth more than $10 million. The green area, the very top professionals, top lawyers and doctors, CPAs, consultants, dentists, the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, will see to it permanently that physicians will never get into this category again. It'll be extremely difficult for them going forward. But the other professionals, the very top, make more than $10 million and become wealthy. 5% are super salespeople, top bond traders on Wall Street, top stockbrokers, top real estate agents. Where I live in Utah, we wouldn't even have one agent in real estate that would make it. There's just not enough expensive homes to sell enough. They would end up making more than 10 million in their career and net worth and being set that way. 1% are what I call the lucky DNA group. These are the athletes, the entertainers, the LeBron Jameses of the world, or whoever you are. And, you and I probably don't fit into the lucky DNA category, so we're probably not going to do it that way. And if you just look at those 4 slivers of this pie, you could be really depressed because you'd say to yourself, well, I don't fit in any of those areas. How would I ever actually pull it off and become wealthy and have the kind of lifestyle that these people have? You won't unless you fit in those areas, or unless you do the big area here, this last section, the big red area, 74%, nearly 3/4 of all the wealthy people in this country did it how? By owning their own business. And that's something that everybody listening right now can do if you make a decision that that is what you're going to do. Now, owning your own business is fraught with a lot of risk. Most businesses don't make it. 70% of all new businesses fail in the first 5 years, according to the Small Business Administration of the U.S. federal government, which guarantees the loans for most of those new ventures. And a few of them fell after that, and some of them go on and become these success stories that we read about or that we talk about or that make up this 74% of the people that become wealthy in this country. And so that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about you owning your own business. And yeah, you've got multiple options to go do that. There's thousands of businesses, but they really can fit into just a few categories. And so you can get distributorships, you can get branded businesses like a Ford dealership. You can own your own business, you can start your own business, you can buy a business from somebody. There's multiple ways, but all of them are fraught with the fact that 70% fail in the first 5 years and more fail after that. And if you're listening to this presentation right now today and you're over the age of 40, then you got to think really long and hard about doing any business of your own, because you got a 70% chance you're going to blow it. And if you blow it, you can't just say, oh, well, I blew it. The ramifications of blowing it or failing after age 40 are literally fatal to your financial security. And why are they fatal? Because after age 40, you're out of time. There's not enough runway to recover before retirement and have any kind of semblance of retirement where you would enjoy it. There's 25 years left for most people who want to retire around 65 or 70 years of age and then have a decent retirement. You're out of time. And you have to pay back all the people. Maybe the banker takes your house that you pledged for that new business loan that you had. You borrowed money from family or neighbors. And by the time you pay things back and try to repair your credit and try to save up enough money and invest it and have enough time to invest it, it's over. You're history. You're toast. You will work until you're dead. And that's what happens. Now, just to come back and recount this pie chart on the right side here of the wealthy people, does anyone listening today, do you see a sliver of that pie chart that says employee? I worked for somebody else my whole life. No, you don't see it because it's not on there, right? And the truth is, if you want to be an employee, you should do that for other reasons besides money. You should do it because you really love your job, you're super passionate, you're never going to get tired of it, and you're not going to ever worry about retirement. You're just going to say, I'll have what I have and that'll be it, and I don't care. If that's you, then that's fine. But if you're doing a job so you can increase your financial security, you can provide better for your family, you can send your kids to better schools, you can give them better experiences, have better memories and vacations together. You want to have dignity in retirement. You don't want to have to worry about money ever again. You'd like to pay off your house, have no debt, pay off your credit cards. If you're any of those things, then just understand that being an employee will never allow you to have financial security. It's impossible because you have no leverage on your boss and you can't demand 10 times more pay than you're making now because they can get somebody else to do your job that you're doing now if you don't want to do it anymore. And so the only way, and I think we have to have an agreement on this, before we proceed here, the only way, you have to admit that if you work for somebody else, that you'll never make it financially. It'll be, with a few exceptions, it'll be impossible, okay? Maybe you're the first employee at Google or the first 100 employees, and so they go public, but, then you got wealthy because of your stock options. You didn't get wealthy because of your salary. And so with very few exceptions, working for somebody else, never cut it. You'll never have financial security or time freedom. It's impossible, okay? And so you'll have a meager subsistence retirement. That's what you'll have. So if you agree with that, then on the flip side of that coin, you must also agree then with the fact that the only way you can make it is to have your own business. And I've always been fascinated with the neighborhood I grew up in. I think back about kind of a normal, America suburban neighborhood, and we were told, get the best grades you can in high school, do the best you can on the ACT or the SAT test, get into a good college, get the best college you can, get the best grades you can. If you do that right and you got good grades, good GPA, you'll get recruited by a decent company. Just get with a great company, keep your nose clean, stick it out as long as you can there and do the best you can, you'll be okay. And that actually didn't turn out to be true. Most people never stuck with a company very long, and they really weren't okay at the end. And at the same time, I watched these immigrants, and I guess I have to say we're all immigrants at some point to this land of the USA and Canada and wherever else we're talking about in North America. We're all immigrants of some sort, okay? It just depends how far back you go. But I would watch the recent immigrants who couldn't even get in to the colleges that many of us were able to get into. They didn't even qualify. They struggled with the English language. And so they were forced to go out and open a convenience store down the corner from you, or a dry cleaner, or a restaurant, or something like that. They were forced to go out and own their own business. And they were the ones who became wealthy. They were the ones who actually ended up capping the American dream because they had their own business. And all the long-term, multi-generational Americans got sold this bill of goods, down this college/education path that just didn't really ever pan out, not for very many. And so it's worse today. Talk to college graduates today and trying to find jobs and anything they can do, and length of duration of jobs or companies, tough stuff. So today, what we want to do is we've now told you the truth about your wealth, and it's a tough conversation to have. Probably most people have never spoken to you like this. You probably never heard any of this kind of talk about money or finances, and so maybe this is the first time you've had it, but I'm telling you it's true, and you can go dig into anything you want to dig into. Google anything about retirement. Look today how many people are woefully, inadequately prepared to even think about retirement. Look, about 50% of the people are planning they'll never retire. They'll work until they're dead anyway. They know they've already blown it, or they've never saved enough, or they don't know what they're going to do in retirement. Don't get there. We have a plan here that can end up with you being in a place that you want to be in, with a tremendous retirement, great lifestyle. It's time to do the things you want to do. And I know that because I've done it, and others can do it too. Let's say you think you're going to earn enough money just working out there or doing something, or even build a small business and sell it. You think you're going to make it? How about $5,000 a month in retirement? At current interest rates, how much money do you have to have in the bank to make $5,000 a month of interest income so you can live on your $5,000 a month? That's right, $4.8 million you got to have in the bank. And for you to have that much in the bank, that means you had to make about $10 million, because the government's going to take about half in taxes, and then you're going to spend a little bit. And so that's what you would have to have. I got news for you. You're not going to make $10 million in your lifetime. So this on the screen is not reality for you. If you're a normal person that's going to work for somebody else, a high school graduate makes $1 million in their lifetime. A college graduate, $2 million in their lifetime. A PhD, $4 million in your lifetime. Face the facts. These are tough numbers, tough realities, but you got to know it. Otherwise, you're going to not, you're not going to be aware, and you're not going to do it. Okay, so on your screen we show something called W-2 income and 1099 income. I think everybody listening knows what W-2 income is. That's the form you fill out at your company so they know how much to withhold from your paycheck every 2 weeks in taxes, so they can pay the federal government for you, and you don't have to worry about remitting that money. That's the W-2 form. Why is it called a W-2 form? Because W stands for warning, and it's a double warning. And if you ever really do that and you persist in just filling out W-2 forms your whole life, you're toast. It'll never happen for you financially. What's 1099 income? That's the kind of income that you get paid when you're self-employed, when you have your own business, or when you have a new skin business. You get 1099 income. Okay, at least with 1099 income, you can start to get some tax advantages. When you have your own business, you can deduct business expenses and mileage and part of your car, your office, your business travel expenses, and so forth. So the tax code starts to work for you. That's why people that have their own businesses can end up wealthy, because they can save a lot more, because they get tax breaks. Where if you're a W-2 person, you get zero tax breaks, none. You have no advantage whatsoever, and that's the problem with it. Now, Write these down. These are the 5 areas of any successful business that we're going to talk about. Market trends, science and products, the company, which is our partner in this venture. 4 is compensation, and last is timing. And the reason you're on this call today is because you're looking for something. Maybe this isn't it in the end. Maybe this doesn't, float your boat. That's okay. Take these 5 points with you today, and that's why I want you to write them down and compare the next thing you go look at, because you're never going to make it working for somebody else. You got to have your own thing. And these are the 5 things right here that will help you to avoid a lot of heartache if you can find a business that has all 5 of them. If it's missing one, it'll likely fail anyway. And even all 5, they can fail, okay? But if you got all 5 and you got them really secure, you got a really good shot. Let's jump into them quickly. What is the trend Nu Skin's following? It's this global anti-aging trend. It's a trend that's more than $500 billion today, and in the next 12 years is going to be more than $1 trillion market. It's any good or service that helps people to look better longer and live better longer. That's what anti-aging is. Nu Skin has led the formula for growth in this area for 30 years. We almost invented it. Well, at least we spotted this trend happen. When you look at a trend for your business, remember the trend is your friend. The most important thing is to identify the trends, which are nothing more than where money is flowing in the economy now. Now, you are not so powerful that you can change where that money's flowing. Sorry, you're not cool enough to make your own trend, right? You just got to have enough vision to spot those trends and then align yourself with those trends so you can kind of like attach your boat to a rising tide and it sweeps everybody along with the trend. That's what happens. A really good trend, when you get aligned and attached to that trend, it can sweep you along. It can make ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. That's what a trend can do. And the smartest business people look for those trends. Now, a word of caution. Don't ever mistake a fad for a trend. Fads are too short in duration and not big enough in scope for you to build your future on them. Okay, they're over in a year or two and they're done. What you're looking for are long-term, multi-decade-long movements of money through the economy that you can see are growing rapidly, and you can attach yourself to them. And if you can do it, then the future can be really bright. Now, here, excuse me, is a map that shows you the obesity percentages by state in the United States. Notice that 1/3 of the entire country is obese and 1/3 of the entire country is overweight. And yesterday, the American Medical Association classified obesity as a disease. This is a disease that's going to bankrupt the United States. And if you look globally, 1.5 billion adults are overweight or obese. 25 million Americans have type 2 diabetes, which is totally preventable. It's because they can't stop eating so much. They're digging their graves with their teeth. We're talking about a market in the U.S. that right now is a $500 billion market just in weight management. And we're going to tell you about something different. We're going to tell you the truth now about your health. And the truth is 95% of diets don't work. And why don't they work? Well, let's just look at Joe here. This is Joe Dieter. Joe weighs 230 pounds. You can see his silhouette of yellow. That's the outline of his body. But inside that silhouette is something red called his body engine. His body engine is made up of his heart and his muscle tissue and so forth, the organs of his body. These are the things that really burn calories every day. Joe's body engine today is burning 2,000 calories a day. But Joe decides he needs to go on a diet. So he does it, and he loses 30 pounds, and he's really excited, right? Well, he shouldn't be, because only 20 pounds of what he lost was fat, and 10 pounds was lean tissue that he lost off of his body engine. So in the process of dieting, Joe damaged his body engine that normally burns most of his calories, and now it's only burning 1,800 calories a day. He's lost 200 calories a day of burn. And so when Joe goes back to his normal diet, those 200 calories a day that he's no longer burning anymore because he ruined his body engine, those calories go straight to fat. 200 calories a day times 30 days in a month is 6,000 calories a month that he's not burning anymore that goes straight to fat. How many calories in 1 pound of fat? 3,500. So Joe's going to put on almost 2 pounds of pure fat every month. So Joe goes back and he gets fatter still, right? Absolutely. Let's go to the next slide here. And you'll see that, I think. We'll go to the next slide. There we go. So Joe goes back off his diet, eats his normal food, and he balloons to bigger than he was before. He goes up to 250 pounds. And that's because he damages his body engine. Maybe he tries to diet again, he damages it again. This is the vicious cycle of dieting. This is why diets don't work, because you should never be focused on just what the scale says. In fact, the scale doesn't matter. It's really not the measurement that you're really looking for. What we're trying to look for is body fat percentage and inches lost. And that's what our whole program and our NewFit 90 app focus on, are those two critical areas, okay? So you may think, well, that's pretty crazy. No one's ever said the scale doesn't matter because, well, I talk about everybody else in the weight loss world, all the big names you know that have been out there for a long time. Hey, it's the weekly weigh-in, you know, it's all about the scale. Shouldn't be, because 30 to 40% of all the pounds you lose on a diet are lean tissue. And that just gets you trapped into the vicious cycle, the yo-yo cycle of up and down dieting. We've got a solution. Now that we've told you the truth about your health and about keeping weight off, which is the single biggest challenge most Americans are having today, what we want to do is introduce you to our weight management program. Not a weight loss program, a weight management program. What our program does is focus on peeling the fat off your body and at the same time preserving or even increasing your body engine, where it can burn more calories. If you increase your body engine, you burn more calories naturally, and that helps you maintain a healthy weight for years to come. That's the secret of really being healthy, okay? So the fact is, if you look at this gentleman who has been on our program right here, okay, look at this. Started peeling fat off. Look in the middle, you can see the definition. Look on the far right side. Isn't that amazing? He's got arms, he's got pecs, he's even got a six-pack showing up there. So that's what happens. You look better naked, folks. That's the point of it, right? Why do people want to lose weight? Not so they can avoid diabetes. That's not what they're thinking about. Not at the time. They're thinking about, I want to lose weight so I can look good. I got a reunion. I got a wedding coming up. Something. I've got to look great. They do it for vanity reasons. You want to look good naked? What does it take to do that? Muscle is what looks good. So you want to preserve the lean tissue. Here's another thing that we'll spend more time on later, but this is the biophotonic scanner. As your body fat percentage goes down, which is what we're focused on, body fat in inches, your scan score goes up. And what you want to do is be in the blue area, the highest you can get of 50,000 or more. Most people scan in the red area, so you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that you get the right supplementation, the right kind of diet going, and the scanner teams up with our weight management program to form a really powerful program that nobody else has. And when we age lock these products that you see on your screen right now, we'll be coming up with not only the products we have today, both Protein Boost and AC Shake, but when we age lock those products shortly in October with our age lock technology, then we'll bring a genetic component to this weight management program that will help you even preserve more lean tissue and help mobilize fat loss at even a faster rate. And that's the first time anybody's ever done that in a genetic way. We just age lock this amazing product. As you lose weight, sometimes your skin will sag a little. Nice to tighten it up and make it look great. This product that we call Pearls is a phenomenal product from Nu Skin that you will notice instantly when you put it on your skin. This is our Chief Scientific Officer, Joe Chang, wrote a book that hit the New York Times bestseller list called The Aging Myth. You ought to get that. He was featured on the Discovery Channel just back in December about Nu Skin's research with genetics and how we're bringing these scientific assets to bear. Nu Skin on the screen has invested $250 million in new technologies that help you live better longer and look better longer. And this age lock technology that we've acquired in the last 2 years has produced $1 billion in sales of products that are age locked, okay, with this genetic approach. And now we're going to do that next on weight management. So it's exciting. We've spoken about point number 1, the market trends, and number 2, science and products. Number 3 is the company. They're our partners. Nu Skin is investing for the future. This is a picture of their new world headquarter facility that will open shortly in Provo, Utah, more than doubling the size of the laboratories in the world headquarters. Then again, the China Innovation Center. This is under construction right now outside of Shanghai in mainland China. to support our growth in that region of the world. And we now have 75 retail stores in China, and we're adding 150 more this year. 2 stores a week. Actually, almost 3 stores a week will be opening this year every week throughout China as we continue to grow our business there. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, our 10-year compounded annual growth rate is 9% plus, 5-year 13 plus, 3 years 18 plus, 1 year 20 plus % compounded annual growth rate. Most people would say, I need to be in a startup company to get that. No, you don't, because the startups never get off the ground, right? 60,000 startups have begun in network marketing and failed since I joined Nu Skin in 24 years. That is a minefield of disaster. They don't grow like this. What you want is a company that's growing like this. Because when a company grows $500 or $600 million a year, that's real volume. That's where new people can get in and actually really make money. You can't do that in a startup with $1 million, $2 million their first year. There's not enough revenue for anybody, really, for very many people to do anything. This is where opportunity is. When you get to $1 billion plus, now you got resources. Now people take you serious. Now you can go out and acquire technologies that no one who's a startup could even consider acquiring. Now you can get patents and copyrights, and you can really start to create a real franchise. We've got more accolades than you can name for this company, but the best one is we've now fed over 300 million meals to starving children all over the world. Nu Skin's a great company with a great heart, and they give back to everybody. We're on number 4, compensation, and we're going to wrap up in just a couple minutes here. Nu Skin's an amazing company from a compensation point of view. If you look at the compensation chart on your screen, I just want to start off and talk a little bit about executive first. Okay, that's on the far left side. If you're serious about Nu Skin, you want to be an executive as soon as possible. Some people do it in a week, some do it in a month, some in 2 months, some in 3, okay? When you become an executive, it comes about $5,000 a year. You can see it's $400 a month. Now, that's not a lot of money, but it is a new car payment, part of a house payment, starts to change your life. Once you're an executive, now you can really play the compensation game, and we do it in 4s, okay? When you create 4 executives on your front line, people who just do what you did, become an executive, then you win this amazing trip somewhere in the world for you and your significant other, all expenses paid, and Nu Skin pays you on average $32,000 a year. Yeah, $2,700 a month extra coming into your family budget. And the average time that it takes everybody at that position that we call Ruby Executive to get there is about 1 year from the day they start. That's amazing, right? How much cash would you have to have in the bank to make $2,700 a month? On interest income only, about $3 million at current interest rates. I don't think that's reality. I think it's a lot easier for you to get in and become a Ruby Executive in Nu Skin and get $2,700 a month. That's actually realistic, okay? Then you get the next 4. Then you have 8 on your front line, 8 executives. Now you're what we call a diamond executive. The average income last year for all diamond executives, $126,384, okay? About $10,500 a month of income. What an amazing amount of income. And the average time those people take to achieve that position in Nu Skin from the day they start, 30 months, 2.5 years. How many of you have been doing something for 2.5 years and you're not even close to $10,500 a month? Probably most. You know, you could almost be done by now if you would have started Nu Skin 2.5 years ago. Those are the averages, guys. Thousands of people doing that worldwide. That means you can do it too. And then finally, you get the last 4, and then really you're done. If you want to be done, you're done. You got 12 executives on your front line. You're what we call a Blue Diamond executive. Average income last year for all Blue Diamonds, more than 1,000 worldwide, $617,232. Little more than $51,000 a month coming into your bank. And the average time it took those people from the day they started till the day they achieve the average Blue Diamond income, approximately 7 years. Right. Most of you have been doing something for 7 years. I don't think you're making $51,000 a month. Maybe you should consider owning your own business, building your own network through Nu Skin, a network of consumption that in the end doesn't depend on you anymore. So you can get the income and you can have the time freedom to have a life and to have control of your life. and do the things you really want to do. So last year, Nu Skin paid more than $9 billion in commissions total since the inception of the company to distributors. They passed the $9 billion mark. This year, they'll pay more than $1 billion this year alone in commissions. Amazing, right? Last year, Nu Skin paid more than $970 million in that year in commissions. As I mentioned, this year we'll go over $1 billion in compensation to our distributors. I know the slide's a little messed up. Let me parse it for you. In 2010, Nu Skin created a new $1 Million Circle member every 6 days. In 2011, it accelerated to every 5 days. In 2012, it accelerated again to every 4 days. Right now, Nu Skin's making a new millionaire every 4 days. Okay? Tell me any other company who's doing that. That doesn't exist, folks. That's an incredible stat, right? And mark my words, 5 years from now, Nu Skin will be making a new millionaire every single day. I promise you, that's going to happen. It's already done. It's already in motion. The numbers are already moving that direction, right? So when we talk about timing, the last point, timing's everything, right? Nu Skin just did $2 billion. We're on our way to $5 billion in the future. We know the timing's great for us. The question is it right for you? And if it's not now, then when? And if not to Nu Skin, then what is your vehicle? What's your exit strategy? It's never going to happen sitting there working for a company. That's just trading your life away, renting your body and brain to somebody else for a pittance, really. They're really just kind of taking your best years and wringing it out of you, and you're not really getting anything permanent for it. You're not developing any residual recurring income streams out of that. So stop and think about these things. It's really important. And if you want to just use product, great. Buy one of these packages, $365. You can fix your face, you can fix your body, you can protect yourself, you can do weight management and strip fat off and protect lean tissue and build your body engine and do the stuff you want to do. If you want to do this as a business, folks, then buy 3 of those packages. Why do we say 3? You don't have to. That's not required at all. But the reason we recommend you buy 3 of these is you'll generate more than 1,000 points. And if you generate more than 1,000 points, then you trip the first requirement. You trip the wire. You satisfy the first requirement to becoming an executive, which is where the game starts in terms of creating your network. Okay, so that's why we recommend it. And if you buy 3 of these and you subsequently place a $200 order with Nu Skin, they'll give you a 4th package free. Yeah, it's a great value. So speak to the person who put you on this webinar or this call. Get back to them right now. Don't procrastinate. Don't delay. We hope you join us. We hope you enjoyed the webinar. Thanks so much for listening. My name is Nathan Rex.